Howdy, neighbors. Rich, what's up? Colton, Corey, B. Mauer, 82, Jeremy, Viper. Nothing. I made a bin. How goes it? So I probably have some baits that I don't know that many of you have seen, and it's a little bit out of my well. I don't typically buy hard baits, right? Um, I have infinite amounts of those, and I can paint those. So pretty good in the hard bait. Vincini, what's up? Uh, I'm pretty good in the hard bait category. Like I said, I can paint those. I can buy whatever I need pretty much. Blank that gets me by if I need plastic baits. So, um, and I got enough hanging on the wall that I'm good. But what I typically, Nate, it was down in the like 50s this morning. So 50s here to me is probably like the 30s in other parts of the country. Um, Kyle, it is cold. It's not cold over there in the swamp. Um, but so I purchased some soft plastics because I don't deal in soft plastics, and I don't typically. Uh, I try not to fish them, but you know, sometimes you got to. Sometimes you got to. So down here, these are perfect for what I'm into. Um, Not necessarily these. I'll show these first though, just because they're cool looking. Um, my buddy Austin over there in Nederland. Uh, I hear you, Travis. The big screen. You home today? Over there in East Texas, designed these baits. Had his own mold cut and started pouring worms. So I saw him on, sent him a message. We talk a lot. Sent him a message, said, I want to buy some baits. So he sent me a big old box full. I got a bunch. Lots. I'll go get the rest of them. He didn't send me the earbuds. Travis, we did. I was hoping that he was going to get caught, but he didn't. He he knew. So, like I said, all custom designs, all custom poured. The art of actual custom stuff. Kid designed the stuff, had the molds made, pours them at his house. This isn't some like bullshit, ready-made mold that he went and bought. He drew it, he designed it, he had it made. Good for him. So this one, it's a ribbed stickworm. It's like it's kind of like, I don't even know what you'd call it, but it's like a sawtooth on the bottom. Probably can't see it because of that color well. Let me get a different color. Um, but I got these for imitating shrimp. Uh, Just give me my little shrimp shrimp imitator. You can't see, it's got like on the bottom of the, or on the top of the worm, it's got like little, not that a fish would ever see it, but it's got little like designs of where like a shell would be. Looks pretty nice. Very shrimpy, very shrimpy. So I was into this. Said, all right, I don't fish Senkos, but I like the looks of those. And that's I think that's my whole appeal to these is like what I think he does, what he did well is that you take a guy like me who doesn't throw a Senko just because it looks dumb, no matter how many fish they catch. But I looked at that and I was like, I'll throw that. It looks cool. So, which is the way I go about doing business. You can take something that's typically stupid looking, make it look not stupid. But I think this might be the shining star of the group. I'll show his packaging. He just got his new packaging in. Prodigy Custom Lures. His name's Austin. Send him a message on Instagram. If you're looking. But here's the little one. Kyle, you'll like this. The two little baby feet. And they kick flat. Little bony pearl red belly, a little blue green pumpkin with some red flake in it. So this was the little this was what I wanted for a blue crab imitator. I'm telling you, dude. You put this thing, you could flip it, which I probably will, but I think where it's going to come into play is I'm going to swim it. Or what I really want to try is these are separate. It can be a flipping bait. And I think I'm gonna put it on a trailer hook. I mean a chatterbait, no skirt, just that. And I think that's gonna solve my crab issue. We'll see. Marty, they feel pretty tough. I hope not. No worse than a damn pack crawl. Those things fly off the handle pretty easy, but luckily I have enough that I should be good for a while if they bite the tails off. But that is a very tasty little morsel. I think he calls that marsh crab. I'm not sure. Maybe we can get him on one day and talk about his baits. Yeah, the Paca, because I used to swim a Paca chunk. I still do, but I used to swim a Paca chunk a ton. And it's not bad early in the year. Like in March, they'll swallow it. But in April, that thing will drive you absolutely insane. I typically go to a grub, like a twin tail grub, swimming a jig in like April, in the 1st of May. I'll put that on there, and that tends to cut down a little bit on changing your jig trailer. You don't, like, a fish can nip at it, but they're not going to pull the legs off. So back in the early days, that was really, 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 really annoying, because you'd go through 4 packs of damn swim jig trailers because you'd get one fish that just swim up and go ding, and bite the leg off, trying to like get you off its bed or whatever. hugely frustrating. All right, I guess I'll show this. I guess I'll show this color. This one I had him pour me. That joker right there will get you paid down here. You get bit down. You get bit down this way on this thing. These are gonna be fun to fish because I can do a lot with them. But that's the other color I got. I think I only got 2 colors in those. What else? I got some black and blue. These look good. These aren't. These are the stick baits. Plastic feels real good. It's got salt in it. I like that. So let's see. I had an idea back when I first got going, back when I was swimming a jig, like in these early days I was telling you about. And I told myself, I was like, this was when I was, first getting into bait making and building jigs and shit. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what I need? I need a pack-a-chunk, but when they build it, they need to put a piece of mesh in the mold to where there's a piece of fabric in the end of the mold to where when the fish bites it, it won't pull the legs off. It's like, oh, I'm going to have this built. I'm going to design this, and I'm going to like make jig trailers, spinnerbait trailers, whatever kind of trailers with this material in it to where when a fish bites it, they won't pull the legs off. And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, as awesome as that would be, why would I want to sell something that people wouldn't have to buy as much of? I think this would be a terrible business idea, because if you seemingly build something that people can't, that works real good, that they don't have to replace, that sounds kind of dumb. So here's the other one. Here's the Okeechobee Crawl one. Exactly, Marty. Yeah, when you're in the business of selling fishing lures, unless you're Z-Man, I don't know what sense it makes to sell stuff that doesn't tear up. So the problem is keeping it in the mold where it needs to be. AJ, I'm guessing you have tried. But then, Kyle, you'll be familiar with this. The Voodoo shrimp used the same technology, and they made a jointed shrimp bait, and it had that fiber material in the tail, and they're really hard to break. So it works for them, but they're selling baits for $7, $8 a piece. So the it works, obviously, but yeah, if you're trying to sell them, it's probably not great. I don't know. Carp, of course he did. That doesn't surprise me. Gail with Burrito Baits made some personal worms with the mesh in them and said last summer he caught 36 fish on one worm. That's a lot of worms. I mean, that's a lot of fish on one worm. So, I mean, I guess you could sell a 1 pack of worms. Would people buy a 1 pack? Would you buy one worm if you could catch 36 fish on it? And you could charge $7 for one worm? I mean, I guess if you broke it off, that would suck. But if you manage to keep it snagless snag free for that long, I don't know. I don't know what the like. I don't like the Elastec shit, so those guys don't ever have to worry about me buying that. Culprit made that stupid worm with the loop Velcro on it. I don't remember that one, and I typically like most Culprit stuff. I don't remember a Velcro piece. Rains make a stick bait with mesh embedded for wacky rigging. They might. I don't know. I've never seen it. But I mean, it's a good idea. The problem is people just don't need more. They don't need you much. I guess when you're selling baits, you need people to need you. The sticky worm, is that the name of it, AJ? By Rains? The sticky worm? Yeah, Jeremy, I'm not a fan of the Elastec either. And if you get it mixed with other plastic stuff, it'll melt and turn into goo, and it's just not fun to deal with. It's not enjoyable to put on a hook. Oh, the culprit worm was called the sticky worm. I was always a big fan of the Man's Hard Nose line of baits. That made great sense to me. They put a harder plastic in the nose of the bait, and then the rest of the bait was soft. I still have a few packs over there that kind of look like speed worms. They're little crawls with little pinchers that move around. They were pretty cool. I don't know why those didn't catch on. The hard nose was a good worm. Kyle, I also use a variety of saltwater baits or inshore saltwater baits for bass fishing. It was supposed to hook on. Oh, was that the same thing that they did on Fred's frog that had like the Velcro on top of it? That thing was pretty, I don't say stupid, but what I'm trying to say is it was pretty fucking stupid. Do they still make those? Anybody know? Sorry, Travis, if I said if your kids are home. I take it back. Fudging stupid. But yeah, my Prodigy order is here. So look all Austin up on Instapiece. And just don't get him to sell you that color. I don't know if he's going to put it in his lineup or not, but the marsh crab, delicious. The fish couldn't spit the bait as easy. Marty, I'm here to tell y'all about fish spitting baits. I've mentioned this before, but I've fished that snag proof only tournament at Guntersville a lot. And in practice, using a regular frog that we would fish in the tournament, if you go out and practice and you get bites and they blast your frog and it's practice and the bite's tough and you don't want to like stick all these fish, so you just let them eat it, swim around with it. it's maddening how long they'll swim with it. So whenever I hear this stuff about like fish not holding on to baits, like if you just fished and never set the hook, it would probably change a lot of people's opinions on how long fish will hold on to stuff. Because I know like the majority of fish that we would hook or get bites from in practice that you would just like let swim with the bait. And we're talking like some of them would run off for like 15, 20 seconds. And you're like kind of like trying to pull it away from them without hooking them. And they're just like, and you're trying to, not let them swallow it, but you're trying to put a little, dude, it was really eye opening how long uh, they would hold on to stuff. Um, and that was just a Bobby's Perfect Frog. Like it didn't have stupid ass Velcro stuck to it. So let's see. But it's the same thing with like, I don't know. Like I think if a fish is going to eat a worm, they're going to eat a worm, and I think sometimes they're trying like you get a bite and you swing and you miss, and like oh he spit it out. Sometimes they do, but I think sometimes they're like on crawls. I think sometimes um, they're trying to get like the pinchers off and then eat the rest of it. Fishman 666, the most evil fisherman on Instagram, just logged on. Nice. Hybrid hunter paint patterns are changing, but being called the same thing. Subtle, but I noticed it in the green gizzard. That's interesting. I wonder why they do that. They still make them. Um, I've been throwing a brand of frog called the Toad Thumper. I was calling BS on the guy at the tackle shop, but got a few, and I've been really impressed with him. Is that the guy from Whiskey Myers? Started the Toad Thumper. I know a guy that won a boat on that Toad Thumper frog. There's been a lot of success in Arkansas on it. Yeah, I think that's the dude from Whiskey Myers started that company. AJ, what's wrong with the 6 cents frog? The Vega. Hooks are too small? Casey is a good frog. They're I think the one good thing about the frog guys, the Whiskey Myers guys, is they know how to market. So they got their frogs out there, and people see them, and they're pretty visible, and people are buying them, and they're like selling frogs. So um, it's good that their product's good. Um, Frog season is over. Oh, Jeremy, unfortunately, frog season will probably never end. It might in January. I've caught them on a frog in February here through December. January's the only kind of gets iffy. Uh, Better hookups than a Spro. Uh, I got a Vega, didn't like it. Uh, Spro Propping Frog is way better than the 6 cents. I'll tell you a frog I like, but it needs new hooks. The Cheapo Pad Crasher. Pretty decent frog. Put you a 4-aught Gammy super line in there. Pretty good frog. Um, Jeremy, that's what's funny is I've heard a lot of people like when the Vega frog came out, they're like, "Oh, this frog is awesome. Oh, this is the only frog you'll ever need." And then once it like got into real people's hands, they were like, "This frog blows." Um, so Prodigy, because Austin thinks he's a prodigy, the little prick. Yeah, the Terminator frog's supposedly pretty good. Um, what else? I used to throw the swamp donkey a ton. Um, and for whatever reason, one day I just had a hard time hooking fish with it. Uh, but I don't know why I ever got away from the. You looked up Prodigy Custom Lure? Prodigy Custom Lure. Um, I tried my Vega frog. You traded the Moloch Sneaky Frog. You don't have to move the hooks on the Toad Thumper. It's ready to go out of the pack. That doesn't sound too bad. Are they ugly though? Let me check. Toad Thumper. I'm gonna make this quick because I gotta go paint. But I want to see what this frog looks like. I'm really not a fan of certain things on frogs. Do they have more than one, or is it all the same? They got a popping frog and they got a walking frog. Which one is this? The walking frog. Do y'all like them both? Oh, so let's see. I can go ahead and tell you I'm not a fan of the eyes, but I can look past that. The black one looks pretty sexy. The black with the chartreuse head. I like that one. $10, good price point. Let's look at this bad gill. Let me show y'all. First frog I've thrown out of the pack. Window. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wrong one. Wrong one. There it is. Let's see what we got here. I mean, they're not terrible looking. Said the eyes kind of take away from me. The black. Where's the white one? Yellow belly. They're not terrible looking. Not terrible looking. I wish they would have put black eyes on the white one. I do see there's a flaw to me in all frogs that nobody's fixed yet, and I don't know why. Drain hole is on the top. It's an interesting place. Body is soft enough. I like both frogs, but I've thrown the walking frog the most. Well, I'll when I shred my when I shred my shitty pad crashers up, I guess I'll maybe try a a toad thumper. Probably won't, but maybe. Doubt it, because that would require me placing it in order online. Kyle, I have no my only qualms with the eyes are purely aesthetic, because I look at it as how I would have painted it, and it's the opposite. So when I look at it, it bothers me. Do I think a fish cares? No. Would I probably dot them with a Sharpie to make them all black? Probably. But that's just, it's really, all that kind of shit is just peace of mind for me. Um, because if I'm fishing and I look down and I see that frog and I see those stupid eyes looking up at me, I think to myself, damn, those eyes look dumb. Like, I really don't like these eyes. And it just like, it takes my mind away from fishing, and it puts me into a, 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 a sour mood that the eyes look so shitty. Um, Rather than concentrating on what I'm doing, I'm fixated on how ugly the eyes are. Or if like I've got a, you know, a stupid looking skirt on my spinnerbait, or like if I want like chartreuse feet on my spinnerbait trailer, I'll look at it. I'm like, damn, I really wish that was chartreuse. Like once you get that in your head, like if you think you're looking at the water, you're looking at the day, like, you know, the bite, whatever, and you're like, oh, I need a white trailer with like chartreuse tips on it. And if you can't scratch that itch, it's pretty annoying to me. Um, I like to be able to have, you know, when you look down at your stuff, you want it to be what you have in your mind that you think is going to work that day. Um, and like I like the pad crusher eyes because they're big. They're big old fat eyes. I think the pad crusher is a very well designed looking frog. Uh, and I don't typically like it when they put those like realistic frog looking paint jobs on those. I'm not a fan of those at all. Morgan says he doesn't think he's had to squeeze water out of it between the hook hole being sealed over and the drain hole being above water. Even when I've caught one or it gets sucked under, I can't remember it having water in it. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't know that anything will ever replace a Bobby's Perfect in a mat. Because I saw somebody said that the pad crasher is best frog until you get it into really thick mat and they aren't wide enough or heavy enough. Yeah, I think Bobby's Perfect is just going to be the end all be all for that. Until something better comes along. I don't know what that would be, but that joker catches them. Just catch a few fish on it and the teeth marks will wear those eyes off for you. Very true. I can put my own on there. Am I the only person that puts electric tape over the holes on frogs? I've never heard of anybody doing that, Kyle. Anybody else put electrical tape over the holes on frogs? Never heard of that. I kind of like squeezing them and making a little noise. It's like a nervous twitch. Like you make a cast and then you reel it in, or you make like 10 casts and then you bring it in, squeeze it real quick, fling it back out there. Looks like I got a shitty signal on Instagram. I mean, on YouTube. AJ, you're right. I do refuse to throw a live target, even though you say they're awesome. Juice Newton, what's happening? AJ hates when the hole is covered. So we have differing opinions over bunk holes of frogs. Butt plugs or no? We got one that says unplugged. We got one that says plug them. We're talking about frogs. I used to like the Aobi, but mine were bad about taking on water and tearing. Yeah, Morgan, I have one that I was a big fan of. It was like that clear bluegill with like the silver flake. I caught a bunch of fish on it, but it didn't last very long, and it tore in the back where the skirt comes out. It was just a little too dainty for my taste. Good frog. I wouldn't say it's a good frog. It was an okay frog, but the only one I'm really interested in trying is the little bitty mini one. It's like a jackal. It's a jackal frog. It's like a little bitty jackal frog. I forget what the name of it is, but they might have discontinued it by now. That's what usually happens is I'll sit on my ass and be like, oh, I'd like to try that. And then like put them in my cart like 16 times and then never buy them. And then by the time I'm ready, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go buy those now. They're discontinued, which wouldn't surprise me coming from Jackal. But the dogfish like the jackal frog. Mend it helps. What's that little Cara frog? Yeah, that one. That's the one. That's the one I wanted to try because they had a red one, and the red one looked really inviting. I had a frog box around here somewhere. Uh-oh. Here's my frog box. When it's time for me to go frogging, I'll just throw this in the boat. There's a transporter or whatever this was called with no legs. There's an ish frog. These were pretty good. That frog walked pretty good. Speaking of bad eyes, these eyes were pretty bad, but they kind of fit. They kind of fit the bait. This bait here, came directly from the garage of Bobby Barrick. Personal bait of Bobby Barrick. How about that? From the man himself. Should have got him to sign it. There's one of those other ones, the little ones that break. This one hadn't broken yet. But this is my favorite. Well, maybe I shouldn't show that. This one's been through war. Smoke bobbies. These River to Sea ones were pretty good. Why am I missing all my tails? This is the big bullywah. It's a pretty big frog. Very wide. But that was a good frog. Do they still make these, I wonder? I don't see a hole in this one. A weep hole. Oh, this one's got a big giant weep hole in it from the hooks. Oh, no wonder I don't throw this one anymore. What else we got in this box? One of those brown Spros that everybody likes that I scraped all the paint off. River to Sea were knocked off by Academy. Ah. I know I've probably shown this before, but this was the frog of all frogs before frogging was frogging. AJ, the short leg is a matte thing, like that, and that's the only time I'm going to show that one. But yes, the short legs are a matte thing. I don't know if it makes any difference. The Depths Beriski frog wasn't bad, but it would wear out and let in water. Yeah, that's typically how, if I'm matte fishing, I like my legs like that. But no, Dustin. It's a scum frog. This thing's big. Maybe it is an Alabama thing. I think it's just a grass mat. I think it's just like a Guntersville thing. I don't know where else. Where else in the country is famous for like slop fishing frogs in thick grass? I guess everywhere in the north. I cut one side half off and the other a 1/4 inch. I used to do that, and I didn't think it made a difference eventually. Nate, you know somebody that's got more of the walking bass rats? Back in the mid 2000s, I heard that Scum Frog was discontinuing this frog. This is actually a Terminator skirt on them. They used to come with these like soft like lunker lure skirts. And they're the walking bass rat, the big one. Everybody always tells me that they're like, "Oh yeah, I've got those," and they have the little bass rat, but this is the walking bass rat. It is the big boy. But it has no weight in it. It has a little bitty hook. If I design a frog, I will probably design it to be just like this, except hold a better hook, a bigger hook. So same design, but like a fat ass on it. Damn, Nate, I didn't know those were out in the wild anymore. I mean, those are probably almost 20 years old on the damn shelf. But you got to change the hooks out, which we caught a ton of fish on the original hooks. The original hooks are there's a body. They came with red eyes like that. They're really ugly. That one. But you'd stick a lot in the tongue and kill them. Like, it wasn't a great. You never knew what was going to happen with this thing. Was the problem with it. But it's very well designed for when it was, like, for what it does. I won't get into all that, but it does a lot of things that a lot of frogs don't. But the hook, the bite of the hook is not great, but you can still stick them with it. And the plastic's really soft, but it's really durable. I don't know what their formula is. But this is a badass frog. But anyway, when I found out they were going out of business, I called them, and I got this old lady on the phone, and she answered the phone. She's like, "Come frog," and they were in Columbus, Mississippi, I think at the time, and before they sold out. But anyway, I got to talking to her, and I was like, "I'm looking for the walking bass rat. Do y'all have any more of those?" She's like, "Yeah, we don't make them anymore." I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, since they're being discontinued, do you have any like old stock that's like laying around?" And she was like, "Maybe. Let me look." I was like, "All right." So she got back on the phone. She said, "I got some." I said, "Oh yeah, how many? What colors?" She's like, "I don't know. It's just a damn box of them." It's like, okay. Uh, she was like, "You want them?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take them." I was like, "I can dye them. Doesn't matter." And she's like, "All right, write me a check. Send me $50." I was like, $50? And she was like, "Yeah, what's your address?" So I gave her my address, sent her a check for like $50. And she sent me 36, I think, or 40 of these bass rats. Most of them were gray, black. There was a few white, but I've got them on I've got a few over there on the wall. I've got a box over there that's slapped full of these things. Um, but I bought them because there really wasn't anything else. They replaced it with this frog. She sent me one of these, and it's called like a top dog or something. This was supposed to replace the walking bass rat. I'm like, it's not even close to the same. Like, look at the difference in like that's not a replacement, right? So two different kinds of frogs, two different like walking styles. Like, there's nothing the same about them. Um, but ooh, this was a good frog back in the day. This was an early one, uh, pre bronze-eye, the sumo frog. Y'all remember that one, the sumo? Um, this is when I was getting frogs before juice. They're not heavy at all because there's no weight in them. I can tell you though. Let's see. With a hook and the big ass skirt, 0.4 ounces. They cast light though. Um, but yeah, this was all pre bronze-eye. Um, and I was using those, and then I got a hold of I got a hold of the sumo frog, and it was pretty good, but it still didn't do what this one did. Um, and then the bronze-eye came out and really changed the game. Um, and then I fished a bronze-eye for years and years and years, and then I got a hold of the swamp donkey and fished those for years and years and years. And then now I'm kind of in limbo. I'm not married to any particular frog. Um, so uh, unless I'm mat fishing, I'll throw the bobbies. But different colored plastic has different softness. I don't see where the colored pigment would make it firmer. I would say that's a myth, Juice. I would say that's a myth. Whatever this plastic is awesome. It's like indestructible. These things never get holes in them, but they're like super soft. And they're really thin. AJ's convinced that Mississippi river bass don't eat frogs. It's because you're a crankbaiter. What else? Do we have any more weird frogs in here? Another donkey. I need to go. One of these days, I'm gonna have to order like $100 worth of damn rubber and sit down and make all my damn skirts again, because I don't think I have any. Like, the only reason I throw half of these frogs is because they still have skirts on them. Like all my other frogs that I would probably throw don't even have skirts on them. So I'm gonna have to order a shit ton of damn rubber and like replace all my skirts. I know Josh at Tato Designs. He completely submerges his planos that he keeps his frogs in baby powder. My buddy Keith does that too. Like you get a 3600 or 3700, whatever you keep your frogs in, and you just like fill the whole thing up with baby powder pretty much, and then you put your frogs in there, and they're all perfect. And I guess you dry them out and throw them back in there. But those are the only two dudes I've ever known that did that. The footage from the Elite this year at La Crosse was all faked, like the moon landing. Nah, it wouldn't surprise me. There is some good frog footage that they get up there. It's pretty fun to watch. Anybody else put baby powder in their boxes? What I was gonna do, I was talking to Austin about it, which I think would be cool. I was gonna get him and to maybe do a little. Tell me if y'all would like this. We were gonna do a little collaborative soft plastic, and I was gonna do a bait and a custom colored bait and have a custom colored soft plastic that he pours to match the bait, and then sell it as a combo pack. You get the worms and the bait. Rebel Bastard, the purpose of the baby powder is to keep the skirt material from melting and getting gooey and like sticking to itself and sticking to other stuff. So if you look at this one, you probably can't see it, but it's like it's starting to get all gummy. Yeah, you can probably see that. But it keeps them like they were new. I guess moisture and heat break down the plastic. But yeah, if you don't mind hosing your baits, like hosing a box down with baby powder, all your frog legs will stay intact and not get dicked up. So it's a good tip. AJ, get a Berkeley Maxent hollow belly frog, might be able to catch them. Ooh, nice call, Kyle. Hella was the only one on a tournament who was on a frog bite, and he still was only catching a few a day. Yeah, I don't know. Rich, you've used cornstarch, probably the same thing. I would think cornstarch might work better. Terminators, yeah, I've heard Terminators are really good. They're pretty dumb looking too, though. If you haven't noticed, I'm really a dick about profile. So 55 minutes. I've been trying to stay within an hour so I can go get some work done. I got lots of baits to paint, but I got all those lipless baits painted. Maybe I'll throw in a pack of these worms to whoever gets the lipless baits. Do a little promotion for Prodigy. I was thinking about this the other day. Pre-Bassmaster Live, especially in the old days, how many baits do you think are out there that are classic winning baits that never got credit? You mean they got lied about? I think there was probably a fair share of them, but I think those baits eventually came out, right? Like, the problem is that I don't know if people figured out that they were good eventually, but it was way longer than it should have taken because people were hiding them. You would have guys throwing them for years and not wanting the bait to get out. And AJ, I do have a 1/4 ounce rattle trap handy. Which it sucks for like smaller companies, Morgan, that like if it was like something small scale that worked really good. Can I weigh it? Sure. You want it in grams or ounces? 0.3 or 10 grams. So it's a little heavier than a 1/4. And you put hooks on it, it's probably 3/8. Oh, for sure, Morgan. Like, what companies could have gotten from people like hiding their baits, or from not hiding their baits if they would have just come clean and been like, "Hey, this is what I caught them on." That could have been a deal breaker for a company if they were having a bad year, growing pains or whatever their issue was. Because there's so many, like back in the 90s and even the 2000s, like you saw it a ton, I feel like in the 2000s, like the early 2000s, where every time somebody would like go up to a like an article or some sort of interview or whatever, like pretty much the standard answer of what you caught them on was a prototype blank. Were these off eBay? Did you get them off eBay? But I feel like it's, I don't know. Companies are, I feel like it's a lot easier to, for companies to like get baits out there now. So, and there's no real backbone that anybody has. So if somebody has a bait from X company, like in the whatever pro staff likes using that bait, they can have one out in a pretty fair amount of time. I think compared to the old days, like because of the speed of prototyping, the speed of like email, and like, if you have a manufacturer that has a printer, like you can send them the files to they can have it printed that afternoon. You don't have to mail anything. Like you can send them the cut file and they can make it at their factory, and then, do all that shit the same day. So it's which sucks, because like if somebody likes Austin's bait, He's not going to get credit for it. They're just going to say it's some, prototype, Strike King prototype. It's not. I figure somebody, I'll make this prediction. I predict that this design will be purchased. This one too. I figured at some point, maybe a company from Texas, if I had to pinpoint it, they look very 6th-ish. And it would be a nice additive in their lineup. And if I'm a betting man, and these get in front of the right eyes, this bait will be purchased. And then I'll have these collector versions right here, the original. My 6th sense says this will be a 6th sense bait. Because it's kind of like, it's kind of got a JDM vibe to it, and but it's not too far off. Mark my word. But Austin did good. I think he said there was. Oh yeah, there is a. How soft is it? I don't know. How do you judge softness without tearing it? I mean, what do they feel like? I mean, they feel good. I don't. They're not like Robo Worm, but that's. I mean, they're very soft, but they feel dense. Like they don't feel like saltwater bait dense. They're like a happy medium. I don't know. They smell like plastic. I like that. Like a rage bug. I don't own any rage bugs. What soft plastic would you like me to compare it to? They feel softer than a beaver. Softer than a beaver. Exactly. Morgan, I think he's I think he's got one on the way. I don't know if it's done yet or not. It says prodigylureco.com, but I don't know if it's up. I can try. I think he told me he was working on it. Opening soon, it says. Be the first to know when we launch. Prodigy Lure. I think it's Prodigy Lure Co. Travis Stearman found it earlier. But Juice, these are my shrimp and frog imitators. I'll show you again since you got on late. I mean shrimp and crab. There's my shrimp. And my Grande Bass, I think, did go out of business because I was trying to find one of their soft plastics that is no longer made that I was a big fan of, and you can find them online, but they're like insanely expensive. But I don't like to talk about that one. That's what sucks is like as a bait company owner, I would like to. I've got all this stuff like you hear like Castledine like talk about this with Strike Kings. Like he's got this stuff he likes to fish and he wants to like incorporate that into the Strike King lineup. So he molds it into like a way Strike King can use whatever this is. So I'm the same way. Like I've got lots of discontinued stuff. Um, so if I were to design stuff, I would like to incorporate it into Tacklecraft. Um, but then I think about it. I'm like, well, did they go out of business because their bait sucked, or did they go out of business because they didn't know how to market? I'm guessing it was because their baits were good, and they just didn't know how to market them, which is, I think, a lot of the downfall. Yeah, I was never a Madman crawl guy. Casey can fill your boat up, apparently. Juice, I was going to put it on a, I'm going to swim it in the grass, and I'm also going to put it on a chatterbait head. Is my plan. So go give Austin a buzz. Tell him I sent you. And you want free stuff. But I got a lot. I got Prodigy out the yazoo. I don't know what he calls any of this stuff, honestly. No names on it. Yeah, I never got into the Madman stuff. It was too real. Whoever got the Texas shad. You mean Eric's favorite lipless? Awesome. TK said, bill him for my order. Exactly. Send me all TK's colors. I do want, there's a few more I want that I'm a big fan of fishing that I didn't get. I didn't get anything black and blue, which was dumb. And I don't really, I don't really like, I don't really need black and blue. I would just take the black out. Juice Newton, nice call. One of Austin's favorite worms was the Z-nail. There you go. Now you're cracking the code, my man. Now you're cracking the code. So, I don't know what made the Z-nail so good or why people loved it so much, but I'm gonna have to make room on the wall for my Prodigy section. I got a lot. I have a whole wall of Prodigy stuff. I need to go buy some more. It might be over here. I might have to move my wall over here to put the Prodigy stuff in. Yeah, there's a few colors I'm missing. But this will get me by for as little fishing as I do. But anyway, J Max BBQ. Ooh, where you at, J Max? I love some BBQ. Barbecue if you're over the age of 6. Kason, that's good. Send me that damn Bangalore and let me fix it. Kyle, I don't think they will, honestly. Because I don't like carrying lots of soft plastics, so I'll and if his stuff the bubbled one is your best. That's pretty. I mean, I can't believe you still threw that thing. I kept asking you to send it back, and I was like, I guess he's not going to send me that damn bait back. I didn't know you were fishing it. The bubble one is the juice. Juice. If you like the Z nail, blue pearl hologram. I don't know what that is, but here's like a here's a here's a black and blue looking one. I don't know if that fits your needs, but give him a ring. He works weird hours, so Kason, let me know. I'll take care of them Ricos. But I gotta find something to do with this thing. I'm getting Bass Viper depends on what it is and how fancy your taste is. Anywhere from $15 to infinite. Swim baits are typically 55. Flat fee. So if I went to your wall of baits behind you, I wouldn't knock the dust off the packages. There's some with some pretty heavy dust on them. Kason, you got a damn bullet. How fast did that fucker go? You got a 250 on it? Can you drive it? There would be a fair amount of dust. I don't dust my baits, but a lot of that stuff won't get pulled down for some time. I thought y'all fished out of a Ranger. Y'all got bullets with 300s and 250s on them now? I will say the baits that will most likely get used first this section and this section. Jigs and hooks. I've got Bitsy flips. I've got Stanley wedges, the mini ones. I got some Hack Attack swim jigs with the owner jungle hook in it. And then I got some owner O wires and some Gamakatsus. That's awesome, dude. There's a lot of bullets down here. A lot of guys running bullets down here. They're fun boats. Yeah. The next episode we'll do a poll. If you could pull one bait off of this wall, what would it be? Kyle, you can never have too many. That's where all these came from. Because this whole line back here, that's all sweet beeves. I would just find them on sale, or I would find them at Tackle Warehouse. So I would usually do one big Tackle Warehouse order on Black Friday, and I would order nothing but sweet beeves. I'd order like 50 packs, and I had like at my parents' house, I had this like Tupperware Rubbermaid box, and it was like nothing but like dealer packs of sweet beefs just like stacked in there. Because they wouldn't have to unpackage them. They would just leave them in the boxes and ship them to me. Um, yeah, it's all reaction down here on the bottom row, and then up above is all zoom. Travis, we are deer hunting in Kansas this year. Can I come hunt your place? I'll go shoot a deer and then come shoot your deer. I will show you the probably I will show you my probably rarest zoom bait, and I used to hunt them down, and it was very, very, very hard to find. But it was like my favorite swim jig trailer. Was my favorite swim jig trailer, and they are insanely hard to find. Damn, you're on the other part of the state, dude. You're a long way away. Super Chunk Albino. And you're not going to believe this. But I used to swim it with a clear skirt. Which I recently found out that they don't sell anymore. But I need to save all these tips. I'll have to delete this video. Because I need to save this for the Patreon tackle camp. Yeah, those are hard to find. Very. I haven't seen them in years. But I'm scared to fish them. So I don't really throw them anymore. But all right, dudes. I'm getting off of here. I'm going to paint. Y'all be good. We'll see you gents another day. Adios, Insta. Adios, YouTube. See y'all later, double Kyles. AJ, I need to get on what? What do I need to get on? Tell me. I'll get on it. We got messages. Casey. Tackle camp. Oh, yeah, you're right. I do. Let me see what Casey said. They're changing the paint. Well, they did change it up a little bit. The green gizzard. Darker scales, looks like. James, what's up, dude? You been doing all right? It's a James Frady bait. I tried to clean it up. Green gizzard. I wonder why. They ran out of the scale pattern, I guess. I don't know. Interesting, I'll say. Okay, so. Yeah, Kyle, I do need to get back to work. Tackle camp, I will get to it. Hopefully I can get to it before somebody steals it. I'm sure they will. I think Baitworks has a tackle cast with a C though. All right, dudes. Y'all be good. We'll catch y'all next time. We just had an influx of viewers. I wonder what that was all about. I'm 20 minutes late. All right. I'll see y'all next time.